We are talking about Boonie Bears. Blast into the Past, the 2019 animated film that millions of kids watched as a fun, colorful adventure about bears in the Stone Age. But here's what nobody told you. Underneath the bright colors, the prehistoric laughs, and the heartwarming friendship, this film is hiding one of the most uncomfortable truths in modern animation. It is the story of a child who was abused by the very family that was supposed to protect her, who was told every single day that she was not enough, who had to travel to the edges of survival just to prove to herself what everyone around her already refused to see. This is not a movie about time travel. This is a movie about what happens to a child when home is the most dangerous place in the world. If you have ever been told you were too small, too weak, or not the right kind of person for something you knew in your bones you could do, tap the like button right now, because this one is for you. Let's go back in time. Briar, Bramble, and their human friend Vic are not heroes at the start of this story. Briar is cautious and careful. Bramble is loud and chaotic. Vic is the kind of person who turns every ordinary Tuesday into a slow-motion disaster. Together they are completely, spectacularly ordinary three friends, living a simple life in the forest with nothing more dangerous than each other on the horizon. Then a magical portal swallows them whole. They land in the Stone Age, a world of enormous prehistoric creatures, primitive human tribes, and a savagery that makes their comfortable forest life look like a dream. The rules here are simple and brutal. The strong survive, the weak do not, and nobody cares about your feelings. The three of them are immediately separated. Bramble and Vic stumble into the hands of a primitive human tribe, and Briar, quiet, careful Briar, lands alone in the wild, where he finds her. And everything this film is actually about begins. Her name is Fi-Fi. She is small. She is fierce. She is a young wolf pup with a fire in her eyes that no amount of cruelty has managed to put out yet. And she has been living inside that cruelty her entire life. Fi-Fi's dream is to become a warrior, strong, respected, feared. Not because of ego, not because of vanity. Because the world she lives in eats the vulnerable alive. And she has watched it happen to animals she cared about, and she refuses to be next. Her brother Zach is the alpha of their wolf pack. And from the moment Fi-Fi was old enough to have ambitions, Zach has made it his personal mission to crush every single one of them. He does not beat her down with cruelty the way a cartoon villain would. He does it the way real abusers do, with words. With dismissal, with the slow, consistent message that she is less than, that her dreams are embarrassing, that the gap between who she is and who she wants to be is too wide to ever cross. You are too small. You are too emotional. You are not the right kind of wolf. And here is the dark truth that this cheerful animated film is brave enough to tell. Fi-Fi believed him. Not completely. Not forever. But enough. Enough to hesitate. Enough to doubt. Enough to let his voice live inside her head in the moments when she needed her own voice most. That is not a cartoon villain. That is a portrait of real psychological damage done by the people we are supposed to trust with our becoming. Stop here for a second, because this is what the movie never says out loud but shows you in every single scene. Why does Fi-Fi need to become a warrior so desperately? Think about it. She is not training for glory. She is not chasing fame. She's training because, in the world she lives in the pack she was born into, being weak means being controlled. Being small means being used. Being vulnerable means being at the mercy of someone who has already proven he has none. Fi-Fi is not chasing a dream. She is building an escape route. And once you see that, once you understand that her entire warrior journey is actually a survival plan dressed up as ambition, every moment of this film lands completely differently. She is not trying to be great. She is trying to be safe. When Briar finds Fi-Fi alone in the wild, small, defiant, refusing to ask for help even when she clearly needs it, something in him recognizes her immediately. Not her strength, her armor. He sees a creature who has learned to lead with toughness because softness was never safe. Who flinches at kindness because kindness has always had a price. Who stands up straight and lifts her chin and dares the world to come at her because the alternative, showing how scared she actually is, would cost her the only thing she has left, her dignity. Briar does not try to fix her. He does not tell her she is wrong for the way she has learned to survive. He simply stays. He trains with her. He shows up consistently in a world that has taught her that nobody ever does. And slowly, painfully slowly, Fi begins to let herself be seen. Not the warrior she is performing, it's the wolf she actually is. That is the most dangerous thing this film asks her to do. Not fight a prehistoric monster, not face her brother, but trust someone again after being shown so many reasons not to. And she does it anyway. When Zack finally makes his move, when he comes for Briar, for Bramble, for Vic, for everything Fi has built in this Stone Age world that finally feels like somewhere she belongs, Fi does not run. She does not hesitate. She steps between her friends and her brother with nothing but everything she has worked for and everything she has survived, and she fights. Not perfectly, not cleanly. Not the way warriors look in the stories they tell about themselves afterward. She fights the way real people fight for the things that matter, messy and scared and absolutely refusing to stop. And she wins. Not because she was always strong enough, because she finally stopped listening to the voice that told her she was not. Zack is defeated. The threat is gone. For the first time in her life, Fi stands in a silence that does not feel like waiting for the next blow. It just feels like peace. Here's what Boonie Bear's Blast into the Past is really about. The most dangerous predator in this prehistoric world is not the giant creature in the jungle. It is the voice of someone you love, telling you that you are not enough before you are old enough to know that the problem was never you. Fi did not need the Stone Age to become a warrior. She was already one. She had been surviving her brother's cruelty since before the film began, and surviving that, quietly, every single day, without anyone noticing or helping or caring, takes more courage than any battle scene this film could put on screen. The film asks us to cheer when she wins the final fight, but the real victory happened long before that. It happened the first time she decided that Zack's voice in her head was wrong. The first time she chose to train anyway. The first time she let Briar stay. Those moments invisible, quiet, unglamorous, are where the real bravery lives. And this animated movie about bears and wolves and time travel was brave enough to show us that. If this breakdown changed how you see Fi or reminded you of something in your own story, subscribe to Comshez for more dark truth breakdowns of the animated films we thought we already understood. And before you go, drop a comment below. Who in your life has been your Briar? Is the one who stayed when they had every reason to leave? I will see you in the next one. Stay standing.